In this video we will see how to use client-side function in custom validator and also to compare a drop-down list values with a compare validator by ASP.NET. Let's say we have a text box and we want to check the value based on a custom validator. Let's say its name is text box 1 and it is server side control. We have a custom validator with some ID and the control to validate is text box 1. The error message we want to say, please don't enter 123 in text box. Also there is one more property which is validate empty text. We do not want to validate the empty text, we will say false. In the client side function we are going to use, it will be something like validate value. So we will create a function. It would have two arguments by default, source and arguments. So let's say for example we are going to check if arg.value is equal to 123, it is going to return false. We will run it. We need a text box to submit this and check this button, I mean. So let's say if there is 1 2 3, if we mention this over here, text box we have mentioned here is a text box, error message is there, so it should work. Actually the problem is with this capital letters, we have to make it like argument, the second parameter is valid is equal to true or false, and it is case sensitive. So the idea is that we can call a client side method from a custom validator by this way. Also in this example I will tell you how to check the values of the list items in a drop down list if you want a user to select at least one value from the drop down. We can do this with the help of normal JavaScript and server side, but I will show you how to use it by using compare validator. So for example there is a drop down of CMB categories, for example, and it has some values. Category 1 and value is equal to 1, and we will make a few more categories, but by default it will not have any selected value, and we will say please select a category. To compare this one, we will use comparison validator. We will assign the control to validate, which is CMB categories. We are not using control which is supposed to be compared with this control. So if there are any two controls and you want two objects like drop down list for example, and you want to have a comparison with that one, between those two you can use control to compare. Further, we are going to say it is, let's say value to compare is actually 0 in our scenario over here, which is the first one, and we need something to be selected, so we will say operator is equal to greater than. So he has to select anything which is greater than this value, which is equal to 0. We will run this. And if we select something, it will not show any error. If we select no, do not select anything, we have to show a message over here. Please select a category. We will run this again. It will show an error if it is not selected. Although this can be done with the help of JavaScript and some other methods, but this is how we can use a compare validator in a situation if it is required.